If you've been watching this channel this month, you know that I've released a ton of Scream content. And this will probably be the last video on that subject for a long time. At least until we get some news on Scream 8, and I have to talk shit on that, naturally. But as a natural conclusion to all of these Scream videos I've done, we're going to rank all 7 films. Alright, here it is, the Scream movie tier list, 1 through 7. We're going to go down the line in order and talk about them, and throw them up on this tier list. I actually did this about 2 years ago on the channel. I haven't gone back and watched that, so it's going to be interesting to see if these line up at all. But my thoughts have definitely changed on 5 and 6, and especially how they fit into this universe now. So we will start with Scream. Obviously, this is a classic. We're not even going to debate this. It's just going to go in the S tier. The original Scream is iconic for so many reasons. Obviously, having built this franchise, Kevin Williamson coming up with this concept in the beginning, and just changing slashers and horror going forward in the 90s. I mean, we talk about the meta thing. It's not like other movies hadn't done that before, but this truly warped how horror would interact with marketing and everything going forward in the future. It's just an incredible film. Not to mention all of the performances. Then you've got Scream 2. Now, Scream 2, I was never the biggest fan of, I'll be honest. I have pretty mixed feelings on it, even now. But in the context of the rest of the films, it's always been one of the best. In Scream 2, it had a lot of different stuff to say as well, other than the first film. I talk a lot about the motives at the end of these films as being something interesting, but it's also, what is the meta commentary happening here? There's lots of things you can judge a film on, just like execution of plot. How interesting is it? How entertaining? Is it nice to look at? Is the music good? How does it fit in with the rest of the context of the franchise? Continuity. You know, there's so many different things to take into account. Scream 2 just doesn't quite hit as much as some of the others for me. Now, take into account when I'm putting this in B tier that this is all on a scale. As soon as you added any other movies from Scream onto this franchise, most of these probably bump up to B or A, regardless of where they're at. And then we've got Scream 3, and listen, I have a very soft spot for Scream 3. Scream 3 is the first one I saw in its entirety as a kid. I love the Hollywood setting. This one is maybe the most meta of them all. It's also the most funny, you know, people compare this movie to Scooby-Doo all the time. Jay and Silent Bob pop up in this fucking movie, which is still just mind-boggling. Every time it happens, I'm like, am I having a fever dream? But for those reasons, I'm sorry guys, I'm putting it in the A tier above Scream 2. Now, I understand objectively, you could even argue with me that Scream 2 is a better film, and I would probably agree with you. But this is my favorites, how I really feel about these movies, and I enjoy Scream 3, rewatching it more. And next up, we've got Scream 4. This is, again, a very divisive one in the franchise. I've seen a lot of people say, oh, this is the worst one. My brother in Christ, what are you watching? This film is fan-fucking-tastic. I can see the argument that people want to make about the quote-unquote filter, which is just a filmmaking style choice at the time, referencing other filmmaking styles choices at the time. But the cast in this is incredible. This one did what Scream 5 also kind of tried to do. It had a little bit of a different take, but this one could have developed into its own trilogy. There's a whole backstory. I've done a bunch of videos on Scream 4 in this past month. I love this film, right? It's absolutely incredible. In fact, I think it's the only other Scream film, besides the original, that goes in the A tier. Then you've got Scream 5, and I initially didn't really like this film very much. It grew on me, and it grew on me. By the time Scream 6 came out, I was pretty excited for it. And I kind of repeated the cycle with Scream 6 until Scream 7's release. It has, like, so many brilliant things going for it. I genuinely like it. Keep that in mind. And we'll just chuck Scream 5 in the B tier because I think I have similar feelings about it as Scream 2. Like, some of it really works for me, some of it doesn't. But we're still in the part of the franchise where I really enjoy these films, and I think they're pretty consistently strong throughout. A B is a good grade as far as I'm concerned. Richie's motivation is kind of wacky, it's kind of bullshit, but it's played so well. Amber's performance calls back to Mickey's from Scream 2 in that she feels like a theater kid. It's so over the top and awesome. So I think throwing it in the B tier it's just the place to go. You know, the David Arquette scene with the blood splatter was just heartbreaking, but also incredible. You know, it's like finally some change here. Not that we wanted to see Dewey go or anything, but you had to do something to shake it up a little bit, I guess. And then we get to Scream 6. And honestly, at this point, I think I'm throwing it in the B tier. I think it's going to sit nicely up there. I would say out of the B tier, I like it the least. I don't know, maybe for just posterity, we'll throw it in the C tier. I like it a little bit less than those two. But the New York setting, the direction, you know, the radio silence team working on 5 and 6 really did an incredible job. The biggest absence being like Marco Beltrame and Sidney, obviously, from Scream 6. But other than the Sidney name drop, I'm not even thinking about Sidney during this movie because I'm just so enveloped in the Melissa Barrera story. And again, I think these are all really you know what? We're throwing it in B tier. We're throwing it back up there. I don't care. That's where it's going to land. I genuinely just think those are all pretty strong films. I enjoy rewatching them. Things change throughout all of them, but that's kind of where they land for me. And then we come to Scream 7. Guys, I gave this movie, I think, a 3 out of 5 hearts in my just spoiler-free review. But I gotta be real, I think I'm being generous in that. I think it's gonna be more like a 2.5. And that's just... even that's tough. Where do we put it? I am not gonna lie, I'm gonna throw it in the D tier. And let's talk about why. Spoiler warning, I'm not gonna necessarily directly spoil anything, but you never know. The motives for the killers were absolutely trash. They were the worst I had heard. Unconvincing. They were really, in fact, only motives for one of the killers. The other, nothing. No real reason. Understood why they're there to some extent for somebody else's reasons, but not theirs. Sure, some of the kills were fun, but what does fun mean? Does it mean it feels like I'm watching Michael Myers or like a Terrifier film or something like that? I mean, it wasn't quite Terrifier level, but it felt more like, you know, the 2018 Halloween films. That style of kills. There were a lot of schlocky video calls, I'll say. Extremely schlocky and what the hell? What's going on? What I will say is it had nothing to say about horror films. You know, nothing about meta commentary other than, hey, remember Scream 1? And a little bit occasionally of, you remember Scream 2 through 4? You remember those? So, I don't know. I can definitely see the younger generation enjoying this because I don't think they're enjoying the Scream for the same reasons as people who grew up in the 90s and 2000s watch these films, watch them for. I think they're a different type of movie to them. Because I have seen a lot of people ranking this really high up, and I just don't get it. But hey, we all have different opinions on movies, not a big deal. Let me know how you would rank all 7 Scream films. That's the thing, a lot of people have varying different opinions, wildly varying different opinions on the Scream films. And I used to think they were all pretty solid all the way throughout. Not so much now. Quick thank you to my channel members and Patreon subscribers. If you want more Ectoviolence, including exclusive videos and behind-the-scenes content, become a member by clicking the links in the description below.